You know that feeling when you read a headline and it feels like something's missing? You've been told what happened, but you have no idea who actually did it. This is a linguistic trick called agent deletion. It's not just bad form, it affects our perceptions about accountability, and once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere. A classic example is, mistakes were made. It acknowledges that something went wrong, but there's no person attached. It's a failure without a face. Who made these mistakes? And that question gets right to the heart of what we're talking about. How the way a sentence is built can be used to hide the truth and completely erase responsibility. To understand how this little linguistic magic trick works, we've got to pull back the curtain on some basic grammar. It all comes down to identifying the main character of the action. In linguistics, this doer has a specific name, the agent. Just think of the agent as whoever or whatever is actually doing the thing. They're the one making the action happen. In any clear sentence about an action, we should be able to find them. Here's where it gets interesting. If we say, Bob ate the burger, that's called the active voice. Bob is the star of the show. He's the agent, front and center. But if we say, the burger was eaten by Bob, that's called the passive voice. The burger suddenly becomes the main character. The sentence is all about what happened to the burger, and Bob, our agent, gets lost. And here's the final step in the vanishing act. If we say, the burger was eaten, the action happened, but the agent has completely disappeared from the scene. We know what happened, but we have no idea who's responsible anymore. This technique has a name, and it's agent deletion. It's when you take a passive sentence and just lop off the by phrase at the end. It leaves the action just hanging there without an actor. It sounds like a small grammatical choice, but it has massive implications in the real world. So let's move out of the grammar textbook and into the real world, because this isn't just theory. This is a powerful persuasion tool you see and hear every day. You see, the way we structure sentences is never really neutral. The choice to include or exclude an agent totally shapes how we understand an event, who we blame, and even what we remember. It can make a deliberate action seem like it just happened, all on its own. You see this constantly in news reporting. Sometimes the sentence replaces the person with an object. For example, car plows into parade crowd. But cars don't make decisions. A driver drove the car into the crowd. Or this one, gun went off during argument. But guns don't just go off. Someone fired the gun. By turning the object into the subject of the sentence, the human actor quietly disappears. And believe me, this isn't just a one-off thing. Research shows it's a clear pattern. One analysis of news coverage found that the passive voice was used 120 to 257% more than the active voice. And the effect is that it conceals who performed the action. Agent deletion has a partner in crime called nominalization. It's when you take a verb, an action word like investigate, and turn it into a noun, a thing, like an investigation. The action becomes a static event, and the person who's actually doing it can easily disappear from the picture. For example, if we read, the investigation began, the verb is began. But the real action, the work of creating and executing a plan, is all hidden inside that noun, investigation. The sentence makes it feel like the investigation is starting all by itself, which obscures the agencies that are actually responsible. So we've seen the what and the how, but now we get to the most critical part, the why. Why does a simple grammar choice like this have such a deep, profound effect on all of us? Well, it's because it directly affects our minds, especially our memories. Research from psychologists has found that when we hear language that clearly names the doer, what's called agentive language, we are much more likely to remember who is responsible. But when that agent is deleted, our memory of who did what gets foggy. The consequences are huge. Agent deletion does way more than just make a sentence vague. It masks accountability. It can make a violent act feel less severe than it was. It can subtly shift blame. And as the research shows, this all leads to very real outcomes, like people assigning less blame and suggesting lighter punishments for the unnamed doer. Whether it's done on purpose or by habit, the effect is exactly the same. The language we use frames our reality. The good news is, once you see this pattern, you really can't unsee it. So let's get you set up with a simple toolkit so you can spot agent deletion out in the wild. Here are 3 simple steps. First, just get good at spotting the passive voice. Look for a form of the verb to be, such as am, is, are, was, were, be, being, or been, that is followed by a past participle, such as thrown or made. Second, and this is the most important one, always ask the question, by whom? If the sentence doesn't give you an answer, you found it. And third, watch out for those sneaky nominalization nouns that replace verbs and obscure agency. That's a simple system. I'll leave you with this final thought. As you read the news, as you listen to statements from officials, keep asking yourself, where's the agent? And if you can't find one, ask the most important question of all. Who benefits when the doer is invisible? The answer usually tells you everything you need to know.